Hello YouTube! Welcome to Stocks Are Stocks, where I give you the too long didn't read on market information. Today, what's going on with Bumble? Bumble's recent decline has been huge, with no catalyst. Today we will cover the current share price movement, earnings, risks, opportunities, financials, and valuation. The share price has gone down 70% since IPO, but it is up 32% since earnings. When Bumble IPO'd, it made the CEO, Whitney Wolfe Herd, a billionaire. The company now has a total market capitalization of $2.8 billion, and Whitney Wolfe is no longer a billionaire. Is it too late to capitalize on Bumble's share decline? Reviewing the fourth quarter results, the company has increased revenue by 25.7%, but with Bumble's revenue growing by 42.2%. Although the company is called Bumble, it includes a legacy business called Badoo. Badoo's app revenue has declined 3.5% year over year. This is due to Badoo being an app that is focused on the international markets that are less profitable and hardest impacted by current economic conditions. Badoo is currently a drag on the company and has a weak overall revenue of around $60 million per quarter. As Bumble grows, the impact of Badoo's weak revenue will minimize. For the quarter, Bumble added 108,000 paying users, an increase of 7% in users quarter over quarter, while average revenue per user increased by 10%. The company's expenses have continued to hold down profitability. These expenses have wiped out any gains from revenue growth, which is what I believe has weighed on the stock as the market has begun to grow wary of stocks without earnings. The current quarter's earnings were only average, enough to break the landslide in Bumble's stock price, but the risks for Bumble are numerous. These risks include catering to women, liberal tilt, and rating/reviews. Catering to women who make the first move. While this is a good market to serve, there is little data to support that a vast majority of women would like to make the first move. The app fights against the current social norm. This will only be harder outside of the Western market. We are looking for profitable businesses, not to create social change. Liberal tilt. The app is more catered towards those of a more liberal mindset and could alienate more conservative minds. Compared to Match Group, which has an app to appeal to every demographic, from Black People Meet to Grindr to Hinge, Bumble caters to a specific niche. This substantially lowers the total addressable market in comparison to Match Group, who could also make an app to appeal to those of a liberal tilt. Bad ratings and unhappy users. The reviews on Google are not positive. The app currently has a 2.8 rating compared to Facebook's 3.1 rating. Having an app rating less than Facebook is not acceptable. There are some reasons for this, however. Users who are unhappy with their dating experience are far more likely to leave a 1-star rating. With that being said, the app still underperforms its peers. As we review the comments on Reddit, we can see that this disdain from Bumble is recent and is due to app changes. I asked my own friends about their experiences on the dating apps as well. These friends lamented how poor the dating apps have become in aggregate. But one theme has remained clear. Although the apps have become worse in aggregate, the Bumble app received the most negative remarks. This final issue is the cloud that weighs over any investment decision I have in this company. It is not all terrible for Bumble. there are a few opportunities: declining marriage rates, reliance on dating apps, and addiction. Declining marriage rates. There has been a large decline in marriage rates. People are not shacking up long term. The pool of people looking for someone has never been greater, and they will never stop looking for someone, as there is no permanence in relationships. This leaves the possibility for a dating app to be a part of a person's life throughout their whole lifespan. Hookup culture has also reduced the stigma of moving from partner to partner, which in turn has reduced the stigma of using dating apps. Here we see an article telling people to embrace the hookup culture as it might be worth it to find their long-term mate. Everyone else is doing it, says the software marketing major from Bellevue, Washington. This article here claims the hookup culture will liberate us. Of course, we see college students reporting having hooked up, but what is noteworthy is how many of these articles are from women praising the hookup culture. This is important because while we've known men wanted to hook up, women also wanting the same thing allows the app to be more useful to more people. As the rise of sexual freedom liberates us from our outdated ideals, the ability to find a new partner efficiently gives dating apps a unique space to profit. This clip here from the Dating Project further drives home the desire for hookups from women, although it even goes further as to suggest women want it even more than men.
Your research reveals men, more than young women, crave relationships.
I didn't know that I brought with me a bias, that I just assumed that, guys wanted a
quick hit,
culture, and that women really wanted to date.
Right.
But over the years, this hookup scene is very dominant. It's very alluring. It draws people in.
Either way, we can establish demand is firmly there from the female perspective. Women also are willing to spend to do this efficiently, as we see in this clip here.
Gold, which actually I purchased Tinder Gold. So I got this one because you get to see people who have liked you first. So you don't have to kind of go through scrolling, trying to find people. You can just see everybody who's liked you already, and you can choose through them. So it cuts down on the time a lot.
Addiction. Let's be realistic. The average person has been trained to interact through their phone. This dependency will only increase. As people use a dating app, they become increasingly reliant on it. This leads into our final point: addiction. We know that these apps are designed to be as addictive as a casino, and that the best machine learning engineers are tasked with keeping us engaged in these apps. Our increased reliance turns into compulsion and eventually addiction. Let's view this article from Psychology Today. Can using dating apps be addictive? In this section, who is most likely to use Tinder compulsively, we see that past research has shown that people who are socially anxious often feel safer and more comfortable interacting online, where they have more control over their interaction. Lonely individuals may also use online interactions to compensate for a lack of social connection offline. While that in and of itself is not necessarily a problem, these individuals might be especially prone to use online interaction compulsively. The results of this study showed that lonely people who also felt more comfortable on the apps were particularly prone to compulsive use. Loneliness is on the rise, especially after being locked down, and social anxiety has become rampant in our phone-addicted world. The number of people who can become addicted is large. From this Forbes article, 0.15% of mobile gamers bring in 50% of the revenue. These large spenders are called whales and can be seen in all types of apps. We only need a few large spenders to help bring in a lot more revenue, and an addicting dating app that now gatekeeps social interaction for a lot of people is a prime profitability point. Although the opportunities for Bumble aren't numerous, the tailwinds on these opportunities are strong. Bumble does not have much historical data to work from. However, given the increased reliance on dating apps, I'm confident in forecasting a growth rate starting at 22.5% year over year and slowing to 12.5%. The main issue for Bumble will be increasing margins. I will utilize Meta as a proxy and assume that they will eventually hit a conservative 22.5% net profit margin. Meta has a 33% net profit margin. For my valuation, however, I will have Bumble reaching this 22.5% net profit margin over the next 7 years, as the company is not currently profitable. With these assumptions in place, we see that we eventually expect Bumble to be making over $3 billion in revenue by year 10. With a discount rate of 12.5%, we calculate the current value of Bumble to be about $6 billion compared to the almost $3 billion it trades at today. This is significant upside with a lot of downside protection for an error in our valuation. Bumble's recent decline is overblown. While the company may not be profitable now, the pathway there is clear. I believe Bumble is a good buy at these values given the significant upside. Please leave a like if this was helpful and a comment if it was not, or if you disagree with any of my points. Bye!